Hi, my name is Mark Waldman, and I'm married to Alana Waldman. Alana has been battling ovarian cancer for 5 years now. A lot of people want to know how we manage to cope, given everything that we've had to deal with. And the reality is, it's something that I've learned from my wife, is just taking life one day at a time and making the most of every day that you have. And that's what we've done, and that's what we try to do every day. It's made our relationship stronger by teaching us to appreciate every day that we have together. We've managed to travel and do things that we might not have done otherwise, or that we might have put off until later in life. It certainly allowed her to do some things, kind of some crazy things that she wouldn't necessarily have done, like getting her motorcycle license, driving a Vespa. So from that standpoint, life has been enriched by cancer, and it's taught us important lessons about life. But there's also been some negative aspects. Obviously, a lot of terrible things that we've had to deal with, and they really test your character. Some things that I hope that no one should have to deal with, and that's been really tough. But as challenging as it's been for me, I think it's even more challenging for my daughter. I have a daughter named Sydney. She's 7 years old, and that really makes it tough when you've got a child involved and you're dealing with such a devastating disease, and just trying to maintain some sense of normalcy in your life while all this craziness is going on, while mommy has been incapacitated, whether it's through chemotherapy or surgeries or being in a coma in the hospital. And as a parent and the spouse, the father, just being torn, wanting to be there, being scared to death of what's going on with your wife and the challenges that she's facing, but by the same time having to be strong and be there for your child and to reassure her. And also just being there all the time when mommy can't be there for some of those big events in a child's life. But for us, I think there's the added dimension which makes it that much more difficult, and that's the fact that my wife is a carrier of the BRCA mutation. And with that mutation comes a 50-50 chance that my daughter is going to have that mutation. And if my daughter has that mutation, it means that she too will have a 40 to 50% lifetime risk of ovarian cancer, and up to an 87% lifetime risk of breast cancer. And this has taken a lot of energy out of me, having to deal with this once, but the fear of having to deal with this a second time. No one should have to deal with that, and that's scary. It's also scary just to think about, what life in the future is going to be like for us. Am I going to be a single parent? I can't imagine losing my best friend and my partner, but even worse for my daughter, the thought of her having to be raised by me alone and not to have her mommy there. It's heartbreaking. And, I pray that doesn't happen. That's why we're hopeful that some better treatment will come along. And more importantly, that some form of early detection will come along, so that no one else will have to go through what we've gone through. So I urge the people who are watching this, that have come to this website, to post videos to help us turn the whispers into a shout, and help us to raise money so other people don't have to go through this, because I wouldn't wish it on anyone.